Okay, we're live again. It's Wednesday at 1 o'clock. James speaking, trainingsites.io. Every Wednesday I do these live sessions. It's open Q&A, anything about starting, building, growing an education business, specifically when it comes to using or leveraging AI, or in this case, protecting yourself. So if you haven't been here before, these are completely live, unscripted. I'm here to answer questions that you have. So preferably, if you did have some questions, put them in the chat. Let me know what you want to talk about, even if it's just a topic, something that you're unsure about when it comes to starting an education business, building an education business, or growing an education business. And that's what we do at trainingsites.io, and that's the whole purpose of this channel. Um, every week when I do these, I kind of have a list of topics or things that I can talk about. My personal preference is for you guys to just say, hey, what about this? Or have you tried that? Or I'm trying to do this. What do you think? Or can we investigate it? And again, I'm open to doing that live online here if you want to. That would be certainly fine. And just let me know if that's something that's of interest to you. So first of all, let me know who's on the chat. Anyone that's on the chat, that would be wonderful to hear. And we'll go from there. And if there's any sound or any issues with the sounds, just give me, let me know in the chat as well, and I'll do my best to get stuff squared away. So what do you want to talk about? What's going on? I got all sorts of cool stuff that is around. Let me know who's here. Where are you from? What are you working on? Have you got courses yet? Have you got an education business? Are you thinking of starting one? Um, I would love to find out about it and see where things are going and where things are at right now. And I am personally super excited about all the opportunities that we have because of AI. And I'm personally scared because of all of the opportunities we have because of AI. And I think, what I wanted to do today, if no one has questions, I just want to talk about being brutally honest about 2026 in the next 400 days or so. Actually, if someone's on, I don't know how many days are there exactly. So we got, what, 23 days? We got 28 days or 27 days here, and then 365. So in 2026. So there's just so much stuff happening so quickly that there's got to be some fundamental changes about how we start, build, and grow an education business. And it has nothing to do with what we've been doing up until now. So, if at the end of this, even if you don't ask questions, you're just lurking, hopefully you're going to go, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing. I really have no idea what's going to happen in the future. How am I going to position myself and my business to have enough flexibility to still survive at the end of 2026? Because these are the things that are actually happening in real life. So what do we got here? Who's on here? Who we got here? Azab 14, I just want to start it. Okay. Okay, from Canada, Ahmed. Okay, welcome. Another Canadian. Perfect. I'm in Ottawa. So nice to meet you. And let me know where you're at. I'm trying to convert classic courses to e-learning courses. Okay, when you say classic courses, let me just put this in here. So when you say classic courses, are you talking about ones that are given in person, or are you talking specifically about courses that are in an LMS or learning management software? Because my understanding of a classic course is an e-learning course. So is it one that you're giving in person, a traditional kind of lecture where you're up in front of people, or you're in the physical classroom, or is it something that you've actually got built out into a learning management program? So let me know on that one. And in the meantime, who else we got here? SnapCorp from Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, welcome. I think this is the first time you've been on. Thank you very much for coming again. Questions, anything you want to do about talking about questions. If you don't want to ask any questions, again, I can talk about this stuff forever. I will kind of go over it. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to go over the campus map as part of the stuff that's in trainingsites.io. Because I think, for me personally, with all of this stuff, well, let me tell you a story actually. I was playing around and I wanted to go back and take a look at the last year, 2025, and just try and figure out all of the changes or things that have happened over that particular year. And the part that really stood out to me is that there was thousands and thousands of new AI tools, strategies, approaches, um, ways to do things, automate things, build apps. All of this wild stuff was coming out, whether it be single text, which we started off really at the beginning of the year, now to complete multimodal, immersive AI things can do. And I was just thinking about this, and I'm happy that the one thing that's been consistent or stayed through this entire thing is having my own community slash campus. And there's a big difference between a community and a campus. And I think, that's the one for 2026. If you're serious about having this as an education business, I think all of us are going to have our own personally branded campus. So that's what we've been doing here at Training Sites, is helping people build those, and that's the goal in the community. If you haven't joined, of course, it's free to join the community there. And we have a whole bunch of free content, all of the YouTube tutorials that we do, a number of the actual structured kind of mini or micro courses are all free. What I do charge for is my personal in-class time. So the question that came up here, in-person classes, I think you are really, really well positioned if you are a traditional teacher and you take advantage of the shifts that are happening with AI and continue to hone your craft to be in front of people, actually talking to people. I think that is an absolute huge, huge, huge opportunity with all of that experience, because you're comfortable. Hopefully, you can become comfortably in front of the camera. Interacting with people online. So that's kind of a kind of thing, monetization strategy. So SnapCorp's asking about that. We'll go over some of these, and I'll just we'll pick some of them here. So what are the best strategies to monetize an AI course or training? We'll talk about that in a second. And then the other one I have, Easy Language Programmers 3.5 College Electronics and Computer Programming. Tired of giving Udemy most of my sales. Your approach seems to be overwhelming right now. Best to get speed and process. So Richard, thank you very much for that. Okay, so first of all, here's let me go. I'll show you the process that I have in place that is working, and it is the one that I believe provides the best moat or way to protect your education business. And again, just to put this in context, I've been doing this for 30 years online. So lots of videos, lots of online classes, lots of ebooks, lots of blog posts, all of that kind of thing, and monetizing that in the traditional sense of selling information or access to organized information. And I think, if you're coming from that background where you're thinking that you're actually selling content anymore in the form of a course or a micro course or some static content, I don't think that's a viable business model. Obviously, because of all of the changes in AI, anyone can create the same content that you are. Anyone can create the same format or structure of content that you are. That is a commodity now that is available to any student or anyone that purchases a class. So in terms of monetizing content, I don't think it is a viable business. And in fact, some of the stats that I've seen, one of the ones I was just going over some earlier. For example, I know at Udemy, the stuff that I did on Udemy, right now, even the very, very top, highest producing Udemy course authors, right now, and again, I did a search on this, take it for what it is, but I think it was 7 to 12% completion rate of a course. So any of these large courses that you find in massively open online course communities like Udemy and Skillshare and these bigger ones, the course is not nearly enough. It's just a tiny, tiny little piece of the puzzle, and I don't think it's an easy way to monetize yourself. Okay, so that's kind of the first thing I just want to put out there. The second thing is that I do have in the campus, actually, let me just pull this up. In the campus, and I'll go to try and find the one that I have here. But in the TrainingSites.io community, I believe I have one of these ones where there's 13 revenue streams that I kind of identified for having a personally branded campus, and we can talk about that. But the structured learning is only a tiny, tiny part of that. So, the one message that I can get across is that if you're just starting out and you think, great, I'm going to go and have a course or create a course because someone said on YouTube I could create a course and be able to sell it. I'm going to suggest that if you don't have a personal platform already with people in your platform or in your community that is supported by a platform, you're not going to be able to create a business of it. And in fact, you're going to get frustrated really, really quickly. So, my first thing is if you're just starting out, don't do a course. Stay away from a course. Absolutely. Don't spend any time creating courses. And in fact, I would argue that anything that you have in terms of course content, you should give away as quickly as possible on YouTube. I personally, everything that I publish, I put on YouTube, and that is the only marketing that I do. And YouTube is the platform for video, and it does a whole bunch of things in this whole campus map, the 10-step process that we can talk about a little bit later. But if you have course content, any kind of content that is educational content, get it onto YouTube as fast as you possibly can. And it doesn't have to be produced. It has to be authentic and you sharing what it is that you already know, love, and do. So I would do that as quickly as possible because there is another opportunity to monetize it. And this is one of the things that's kind of interesting because personally, the way that I believe and what I'm doing and what I've seen other people who were traditional internet marketers with me in the day is you're going to find that what is marketable are the frameworks, applications, and tools that are AI tools that let the people that used to buy courses or take courses, but it allows them to generate the content that they need when they need it. So if you can put together your package of skills and go from the expert to the guide or mentor, there's an absolute ginormous opportunity there. And that's why I think teachers are, in many respects, really well positioned to do that if they're ready to take that role. If you're trying to be an expert and a teacher on something, I think you're in trouble. If you take the next step forward and be able to guide people, facilitate, mentor through the maze of all the choices, using the tools that you create or that are available for all of your students or people that are taking your courses. If you can provide that, there's a really big opportunity to actually go and do that. So, in person, hybrid or flipped classrooms, traditionally called, or hybrid learning, this is a huge opportunity. And I'll show you how I'm actually doing it here. So best opportunities to monetize. We'll talk about that one. And again, frameworks, applications, and tools. Yeah, absolutely. So here's perfect, Mark. Yeah, we do exactly that. That's where I think things are going here. Now I will show you what I'm doing, and I wish if I could go and say I have all the answers about how this is going to work. I know exactly what's going to happen over the next year. I have no idea. No one has any idea. And if they tell you that they know exactly what's going on, they're not possibly telling the truth. And we know that because in the last week we've had Claude Opus 4.5, we've had Gemini 3, we've had in the last month we've had all of the new stuff from OpenAI, plus all sorts of other different particular pieces that are getting done every single week, and they change everything every single week. So to be able to say just do this and it'll work out, I think that's being dishonest. And I think the first thing is if you recognize that you have no idea what's actually going to happen and you want to position yourself there, I think there's a lot of value in that. I'm just going to open up my video pencil here so we can work on that. And I think maybe what I'll do is we'll take I'm going to go through kind of the spaces of how this works when you start mucking around with, and this will help with the business model part. So again, this is the way that I actually see this. I'm just got my trusty mind maps here. I want to make sure I'm in the right one. And where are we going to go here? So let me just open this up. And again, this is xmind.net. This is the mind mapping tool that I use. These are just some of the notes that I put together for myself here before we got started. And get rid of this. And then we'll open it up and make it a little bit bigger. So here's the thing I just want to, make sure that we're all on board with, or at least looking at it. Here's the big one. If I look at where the businesses were over the last little while, when I first started out, the be all and end all was having a membership site, which was traditionally called, it was a gated space for your content. And this membership site was all about content generation. And if you could put tons of content in and have some kind of paywall or the ability to people to register and get access to it, the more content that you put in, the more value there was in having the membership site. And this is when, when content wasn't a commodity. So, membership sites by themselves, not a business model anymore. There's still people that use that word or talk about it. But if you're focusing on creating content for the sake of creating content, and you always have to create content as the value proposition, you just happen to have it where people have to register and or pay for it, I don't think that's a long-term viable business kind of moving forward. After the membership part, and this is why I was asking about e-learning, there was a number of tools that came out specifically for WordPress when they first started, LearnDash, Lifter LMS, and these were e-learning plugins that came from the education space. There was one called Moodle, which was an application that was the first one that was kind of a way to organize courses online and the content online in a linear fashion of courses and quizzes and that kind of thing. So courses was kind of the next one, and courses got melded into membership sites. But now courses, you look at Udemy and all of these other places, no one's finishing them. They're hard to actually create with any value now. And especially since the content that you put into the membership site is actually already expired by the time you put it into some kind of platform. That I don't think, there's some big issues there. The other stats that I saw just recently, I think, was that I think Kajabi and some of the other platforms, they've got a 27% decrease in their course part of the businesses. I think that was one that I saw, or Thinkific or Teachable, one of the things. So that course only business model, which was content, but organized content and structured content, not something that people have the time, energy, or effort that they want to put into waiting to take a course to get a small specific answer that they need from going to ChatGPT or any of the AI tools. And then after that, there's this whole idea of community, which you're going to hear bandied about. And community is, can include those other ones, but the focus of the community is on user-generated content and getting people to engage with other to create the content. So it's not necessarily you and the membership site adding content, but it's about the community interacting with each other about a common goal or outcome or topic. So that's there. And the way that I look at this, just to kind of put it in perspective now, is let me do my video pencil and see if we can get it to work. There we are, perfect. So this is the way I kind of look at things in the whole AI space, is that, there are all sorts of different people right now. And even if you're an expert, or you have a course, or you have, some kind of community that is standing out, they're all on a level playing field. And I think the other thing, or the only other thing that has to happen, is you've got to find some kind of platform that you can rise above people so that you are able to be recognized. And I think this is the big shift, is between having a personal brand as opposed to a personal branded campus. And the reason I call it a campus is because it is a membership site, it includes courses, it includes community, and it is a platform for your topic and your category, not for you to be the expert, not for you to be the content generator, but you as the facilitator or the person that organizes, guides, and mentors people in your community with courses, whether they're yours or someone else's, with community information. You're just the one that guides that. And I think it's a big transition between having to say, this is my course, this is the only way to do things, between let's experiment about our particular interest area and kind of stand out as this is the place to go where you're comfortable and trust in that community. And that platform is the part that raises you up. So having said that, where's the business model? The business model, you're going to still be able to sell some courses, I think. You know, if you have an existing market of customers, you're still going to be able to sell traditional courses. But being able to move from static courses to teaching the use of AI towards an outcome, that is an absolute huge opportunity. And that's kind of the way that I position things personally with the private branded campus. And I'll just show that to you so that you can kind of see how that works. This is, I'm just going to open another window here, so just bear with me for a second. Yeah, let's do this one. I got all these mind maps here with me, all sorts of different ones. So this is the way that I look at it. And again, I'll put this so that hopefully you'll be able to see it. Let me minimize this one here. We'll bring up. Yeah, so this is, make this a little bit bigger so you can see it. Let me see if we can get it to, yeah. So this is the way that I look at this whole space. And it's a 3-step process to a campus. The first one is that you build a community and you get on YouTube as fast as you can to create as much content as you can for your community. And you'll see why in a second. If you are able to do this, you are starting to build or bring people in. And in fact, you can get people into your community for free as a way to start building your list. But what it actually does is it proves to yourself the topic that you've thought of or that you're an expert in, the way to message the story around it, and it validates your market as quickly as possible. Once you've got some kind of community and content and you've got people in starting to engage with you and with other members, it's like you've got a community library that people know about. And if they want to find out about your topic, it's a place to get in and play around and figure things out. Not to take a course, but to find answers to specific questions about your topic. So the phase 1 part is build your community as fast as possible. And that's one of the things at trainingsites.io, obviously, that we show you how to do. The second piece is that when you have that content, the questions people are asking, and you're starting to build out a brand about your topic or your category, it's a topical authority map. When you fill in these pictures, you become a place, or your community becomes the place to find answers for that. And the more opportunities that you get to be in front of people, the more likely they're going to get involved in your community, because they're overwhelmed looking everywhere else for themselves. So after that, you want to build your classroom. And the classroom is where you look at those applications, those agents, all of those skill sets, and help people use those tools with the content that is in the library, which is the do-it-yourself crowd. You're in it with them to help and work with them. And this is where you charge people in the classroom. And this is where I charge people. If people want to work in the working sessions that we have a monthly membership and we have a yearly membership. So if people want help working on stuff where they're getting live working sessions, not lectures, but working sessions where We create agents, we create applications, we look at strategies, we use the tools that are available to us in order to create or go through that particular process. That's the part where you can monetize, and there's all sorts of different ways of doing that. And then the expanding part is if you're going to treat it like a business, it's like you have to find out about how to administer your platform. You have to find out how to market your platform and automate as much of that as possible so that you just get to be in your classroom and in your community interacting with people. And then there's all sorts of other ways now, I think, that we're going to be able to monetize our expertise that is in the community, in the campus, and in the processes and frameworks and agents and applications that we put in. So that's kind of the big piece or big picture that I'm kind of looking at. So hopefully that helps a little bit recognizing, where the pieces are. Does that make sense? Is that something you want to see how it works? Or let me know, is there more questions about this? Is there particular things that you think, hey, James, you're full of it? Or, yeah, that makes sense to me. This is the process that we actually teach at trainingsites.io. This is the one that I'm working on as quickly as I possible. If you do like education and teaching stuff, it is an absolute blast because you get to share all of the cool stuff that you know and or learn or are learning live and in real time. So that's kind of my 2 cents on this, is that campus map and the way that it works. I think, for me, if someone's just starting out now and they're wondering, what to do, there's a couple things. One is, well, first of all, if you haven't already, please go and do this. So I'll show you the campus here. Just going to go to trainingsites.io. And again, this is free for everyone to join. The first thing, if you are in the community, there's 2 things that I want you to do right away. And this is going to help you immensely through this process. The first one on the left-hand side is the 10-step campus map. And this is the steps that everyone goes through if they're going to be creating an education business. Whether within the past or in the future, you're going to go through these 10 particular steps. So they're all here, the 10-step map. Please go through. I have the maps are all available here for the 10 steps, all the different pieces. The first part is discovering your perfect niche, campus topic, and theme. And in that, it is starting to collect all of your content. All of the stuff you've already done, the documents, the spreadsheets, the videos. Start creating your library of all of your digital assets that you have. Try and collect those as quickly as possible and start organizing them and get them into your community or close to your community so that they're something of value within that community. There's another thing, so make sure you take that, as far as a course goes, right now, this is the only course that I have in the privately branded campus. This is a traditional course, and the only reason is it's 10 steps, and I want people to go through these steps because these are the ones that you're actually going to go through. So getting started, building your courses in campus. Courses actually shouldn't be the word that I'm here, but it's more about building your courses in community and then actually going through and growing it. So again, these are the 10 steps. Please go through them as quickly as you can and just have at least a big picture of how this all fits together. So so there we go. Frameworks Applications Tool. Let me just go. So Mark's saying, we build a program for a year with 24 mini courses and live streams per course, every 14 days, a new course discussion, etc. I think this is good with a branded campus. Yeah, so this is a great question. When I say courses, I'm talking about the delivery of content in the form of a traditional course, an e-learning course that doesn't necessarily have an instructor, but it's got the content and you expect people to go through the content in a sequence, and hopefully at the end, they might have some questions. They'll ask in a discussion forum, but for the most part, there's no interaction with the real you. Now, Mini courses are a great idea, or micro courses, whatever your definition is. You know, I use a micro course as like 1 to 3 lessons. A mini course is under 7 kind of lessons. You know, a micro course in my kind of look at it is, you know, anything under 30 minutes. A mini course, I would hope anywhere, preferably an hour, is something to do, but it's like short, choppy steps toward a specific outcome. And I think here's the interesting thing. What I can do, here's the other one that I want you to do, and I'm going to pull this one up here so that we have an example with it. If you want to use Mark's approach, where you have a mini course or uh, a process that has to be covered to get to an outcome, the best thing to do, and again, I have this is available to you, and I have some videos on it. If you just go and do a search on prompts, make sure we got a. Okay, so if you do a search in prompts and you do authority, you're going to find the content or topic authority map. And this is the most important prompt you can do to get started if you want to create an education business. And I'll show you, I've done this before, but I'll do it now because it's, you know, for people who are first time on, just watch how this prompt works, because if you want to be like Mark and you don't necessarily know the mini courses that you should include or what questions are in the courses, I'm going to show you, this is a hub and spoke model, and I'm going to show you exactly how this works and how you can create it yourself just using these prompts. So anyone in the chat there, just give me a topic that you're working on or one that you would like to have for your campus or your privately branded campus, that big picture area that you want to focus on. So just put it in the chat. Let me know. Come up with one. Anything is fine. If it's yours, it's fine. If it's not yours, that's fine too. But we'll just do it as an example, because what you will get are all of the topics that you need to cover, all of the mini courses or categories that you need to focus on within the community, and all of the questions that your community will probably have to answer for the people who are interested in it. So, okay, so what else? We got another one. Mark, who else is on here? Who's got another one? Language program. We've got computer programming, electronics. Who else we got here that we can do? Frameworks, applications, and tools. What's another one that we can do here? Come on, someone give me an example. So Ahmed, what do you actually teach? Convert the classic course. Ahmed was talking about creating a classic course to e-learning course. So what topic is it that you're working on? Let me know, and we'll actually go and do the prompt, and you can see how this works. See this works. And if not, I will cheat and give one or use one that I've used before from my favorite sport right now, which is pickleball, which is the one that people who are chronologically challenged or a little bit older play to kind of to kind of stay on top of things. So what do we got here? Librarians. Okay. So Raphael, so for librarians. Okay. Data types for easy language. Okay. Okay, let me do this one. Data types for easy language. That one's a little specific. Preparing oil and gas courses. Oil and GAD. Is that the GAD course, or is it oil course? Parts of a computer program. Okay, let's do one here, and I'll try and use one of the words that we have. Generally, when you're starting these off, you want to use ones that are very topic specific, not niches. These are not niches. This is about a particular topic. So avatars to do such courses. Okay. Let me do this one. Agribusiness. Agribusiness is a good high level one that we can do for a demo. This works for all of the ones you've mentioned. And just because you run one word doesn't mean that has to be the one that you use. So this is the way that works. And again, by the way, these prompts are all available to you. And I'll, just go to the prompts and type menu at the top, and you're going to search for authority. And you're going to get this content or topic authority map. So I'm just going to copy this. And we'll go open up a version or a copy of, in this case, actually, let me do it in the browser so it shows up a little bit better. I'm going to open a copy of ChatGPT here. We'll open this up, and I'm going to close my desktop version because there's actually a brand new version available. Okay, good to see you, James. So I'm going to paste this in. Okay, and main topic, I'm just going to change that one to, we're talking about agribusiness, correct? Where's agribusiness? Just one of me. Actually, we can do child development too. That's a good one. We'll do them for both. So agribusiness, we'll try to agribusiness, then we'll do child development. Be in the right place. So what this one does is it says, hey, I want to create a topical authority map. My core topic is agribusiness. Give me 30 semantically relevant but unique subtopics or content pillars under these topics. These should be useful for course lessons, community discussion areas, and workshop content. So let me just get this part out of the way here, which I don't want to have. There we go, out of the way. So I'm going to put that in and let's see what happens. So when I'm running this, I'm using 30 semantically relevant. It could be 10, it could be 20, whichever one that you want. You can play around with it. But what's happening here is this was originally from the SEO industry, and this is basically saying one topic, but what are the ones that other words or phrases or areas of agribusiness do people search for or have questions about? So I asked for 30. So these are the ones that it came up with here, and I'll put myself on the left-hand side so show up a little better. But we've got sustainable farming practices, farm equipment and modern machinery, crop production and management, livestock and animal production, water management, irrigation systems, biotech. What would be a good one? Biotech, and let me know. Just give me a number if you see one here that's nice, and I'll put that one in, and we can use one of those. Again, this works for any term. So if we go back, and I'm going to take a look, and we'll do another one. We'll do ChatGPT. I'm going to paste it in, and we'll do child development. And we'll do another one with child development and see what happens with that one. So cognitive development, language and communication skills, social emotional development, physical growth and motor skills. So play-based learning. So this comes up with 30 different ones. Now, again, if you don't like these or you think the wrong ones, you can just run it again if you want to clarify it. You're using AI. You can do whatever you want with it. This comes up with 30. And what happens from here is you pick one of them and you generate 10 variations per subtopic. Again, could be 10, could be 20, could be 5, whichever one that you want. And I'm just going to copy this here, and we'll copy that one, and I'm going to go to my agribusiness one. And did anyone pick one for the agribusiness one? One on the list is fine. Number 18 was one. Okay, so I'm going to paste this one in. And number 18 was agri marketing and branding. So I'm just, actually I won't copy that. We'll do agribusiness. Was it agribusiness and marketing? Yeah, agri marketing and branding, sorry. So I'm only picking one of the 30, right? Just one of the 30. And I'm saying, give me useful variations or angles I could use to approach, create lessons or content. So the way I look at this is I got 30 topics. I'm going to ask for 10. These 10 that you're going to see can be a mini course about agri marketing and branding. So we'll just go and I'm going to click get my mouse back off the other monitor, just open it up, and we'll do this one. So explore a unique facet about it. So I got 10 variations that are here now. Direct to consumer, local marketing and building an online presence, value add product branding, farm to table. Okay, so I got 10 of them that show up. So if these 10 are ones that you agree with and they're in order of about branding and agri-marketing, these technically could be lessons, or you could run it again for 7 or 10 or 15 and pick from them. But you've got a really good structure now for anything that is about the topic that you're interested in. Give me a thumbs up if that makes sense to you, and then we'll do the child one as well. So, if you can like now, this is the other part that comes after. 25 common questions for any of the 10 angles. A workshop outline for each angle, a full mini course outline on agribusiness and marketing, or an expansion if they want to go deeper. So the one that I normally do right now is, and I'll do it on this one just because we're on this page. Normally what I do is I just say, for the topic, give me 25 of the most frequently asked questions. Then we'll do, let's do the pricing strategy and perceived value. Spelt it incorrectly, sorry. So I'm just saying for one of them, give me 25 of the most common questions. So I did 30, 10, 25, and now for each of the 30, I have 10, and for each of the 10, I've got 25 questions to answer. And these are the ones that people are looking for. It's based on semantically relevant searches that people are doing. And if you want to turn them into a workshop, what have you, that's there. Okay, so if someone says, what's your community or campus going to be about? You can build out a whole list of topics, sections that are ones that people are interested in. Start creating content about it. And even though you ask for 30, you're going to find that there is a particular group of topics or areas that people want to focus on. And I'll show you exactly how that works because I had to do it myself. So if I go and take a look here at the Training Sites campus, I'm just going to go back to the campus page. And super chat. Hey, thank you very much. I don't know how those work, so thank you very much. So here's, I just want to show you this, and this is the best part of doing stuff on YouTube and in your community library as quickly as possible. The one thing that happens, and we'll go to the general discussion because it's up front, is what you'll find out. Let me get rid of this one here. There we go. What you'll find out is that if you have 30 and then 10 and 25, most people who are the creators or experts, whenever you create a course, for most people, I'm generalizing here, most creators create a course based on the questions and answers that are important to them. And the hardest part as a course creator is creating a course that is actually for what real people want to know about. So one of the things, just as an example, that I have been doing in the last, while I do these on a regular basis, it says new members, what do you need help with the most? I thought it would be about, finding out how to use AI prompts and getting started with AI. I thought it would be about getting the first course done, but the ones that stood out here, the majority of the votes were, I want to build an education business with a website, community, and systems. Hence, I'm doing one on a privately branded campus. And the other one was, I want to use AI to build learning experiences, apps, simulations, and workflows, which is about building out the campus. And if you put all of this information in, you get people in your community as free members looking at some of the content that you've created from that topical authority map and asking them which of the ones are more important. Those are the ones that you can focus on from those lists of questions that you have, topics and categories that you've already put together. So that is a super, super important part that most people kind of forget about when they're doing this. So the other question we had was play-based learning. So this one was play-based learning, subtopic for the child development, number 6. So let's go do this one as well. So we'll do this one here, and I'll make sure I copy it again. And again, these are just prompts, right? You can change them, update them, whatever you want. Change the numbers, change the structure, change the results that you're looking for. But I'm just going to put this one in here. We've got these 30 that we set up. Now, one of the questions that often gets asked here, and I'll talk about this just for a second, is that when you are doing these, take a look. This is ChatGPT. If you look in the bottom, it's already asked me, if you want, I can also generate, and it's given me all of these pieces here. Now, why is it giving me those pieces? Because ChatGPT now has memory of this chat and all of the other chats that I've been doing. And that is something that is available now in all of the tools. Actually, they just added it in Google Gemini this week, at least for me in Canada. Claude has it as well. They just added it, and then ChatGPT has it. So it knows the other conversations, and it's automatically taking the next step or preparing for me here, right? The other thing is just pay attention. I did a video on this. Look up in the right-hand side, add people. I did a video. I'll put the link, actually, I'll make sure the link is available in the community for this one. But you can have AI group chats now where ChatGPT is one of the members in the group and will interactively work with the group of people, up to 20, working on whatever's going on in that group. So think of it as a Snapchat with one of the people in the Snapchat as ChatGPT, asking it questions, having it interject, bringing up points. You can actually give it instructions on how involved you want it to be and how you want it to be involved. So other little thing, kind of think in the back of your mind there. So let me put this one in and see what they come up with here. So we were talking about child play-based learning. So I'm going to put play-based learning in here. Give me 10 useful variations, and we're going to come up and see what it comes up with here. Come on. There we go. So we've got 10 angles. Play-based learning for lessons, discussions, and workshops. Science behind play, types of play, why each matters, structuring the environment, guided play versus free play, social emotional. So let's do this one here. We'll do, if you want me to do another one, right? So here's just an opportunity to pick one of these, have it run again, and ask for the 25 questions if you want. And you'll notice the other prompt that's behind there, I didn't really even get to, was an optional step. So once you've completed the full map, what you can do is you just say, here are 30 subtopics and the variations and key questions. Help me put these into 5 or 7 larger content tracks or learning themes that can make sense of an online course, community structure, or membership journey. So just run this part, build your community, run this, and start putting content in as quickly as you can. And you're going to find that not only can you give away access to your community to build your email list, which is the whole reason that you want to have a free community, you can verify what it is that people want and structure the applications, tools, and AI approaches, frameworks, and skills that they need to answer those questions themselves. And that's you in there helping them do that. Not giving them the content, but helping them actually go through the process using your frameworks and the tools that either you've created or help them to create in their particular different piece. So hopefully that helps. You know, go and run that first thing. That if anyone says, you know, I want to create a course or I want to build an education business, and I say, well, do you have a topical authority map? Well, no, but I have a course about a course idea for this. You probably do, and that's great. If you want to have it as something you can sell and be part of a business, you're going to need an education business, not a course business. So that's kind of the focus that, you know, goes on. If you can get started, take the 10-step campus map that I was talking about and run that topical authority map to get started. So hopefully that makes sense to you. What else we got questions? Customized path on the app. Yeah, and this is the one. So here's the one. I hope Raphael. So I think this is the one. Instead of consuming static content, the user can navigate a customized path on the app. And this is the other thing that's really exciting. And I've done a whole bunch of videos on this one. Is that now you can create mini apps that have nothing to do with you generating the content. Give me a thumbs up if you want to show some of the ones that I did last week. And I'll show you, you can create them in 15 seconds. It's actually super, super easy. And while I'm waiting for you guys to respond on that, I'm just going to show you a link that I want you to go to because Google also announced something that is available to Ultra users right now, not to us, but they have what's called a generative user interface. And it's available now for the Ultra users, and I'll show you where this is because it is absolutely stunning. I put the videos here in the campus so you can actually go see it. There we go. So there's two right here on the page here. It's in the general discussion. I did put these up yesterday. There's two links to two videos. And they're calling it dynamic view. So when you're using, let me see if I can make this a bit bigger. Sorry. If you look on the screen here, again, this is only Ultra users, but it's probably going to happen, I would think, shortly for the regular paid users and free users at some point. These ones are dynamic view, and this is this whole thing called generative user interface. And what happens is that anyone who's in Gemini can actually ask a question, and it will build an application for the person asking the question. So if you're talking about, if you're talking about personalized learning and creating content versus someone who's already in Gemini, these show up in Google Chrome. You have to remember that these are live in Chrome, right? So if I open up a Chrome account here and AI mode is here, even if I search for child development, it's there. It's also giving me content. And by the way, it'll actually shop. But this top answer is the one that is all about AI generated. If I was there, and I think, let me just go back one, at the top. And again, this depends. There's AI mode right here. And I put in child development. Oh, that's the wrong one. We'll put in child development. This is Gemini. So I've got all of this information that's there, and you can see now what's happening. It's generating images on the fly. And if I go in the bottom, upload file, but I can also start going and playing around with. It's not showing up on mine right now, which is unfortunately. I know in some of the earlier demos, they had the plus sign there and that dynamic learning was there. It actually created a real, basically web apps. And that's the one that I was just trying to show you here. Yeah, here. So if you watch those videos, you're going to see it actually creates apps. I don't want to play it now because I don't, actually, let me just see if I can play one. I'll do one and see what happens. Okay, so there's a quick example of how Chrome built a complete application for us just right out of the browser. So if you think you're going to create a course and you can do that, you got to be honest with yourself. You're in some deep, deep, deep trouble. So where were we? Instead of consuming a static content, the user can navigate a custom path. And if it can create those things and we know that those are there, what is the path or the guide that we have to provide them to get the output, which is building a training site or privately branded campus for themselves? So Carlos was talking about, that one missed. I don't know what was on that one. Finger red number 1. Don't know about that one. So number 8. Okay. Where was I with that one? Subtopic child learning number 6. Number 8? Want me to try that one? What else we got for questions? I've been going 55 minutes here. I hope this is of value to you. You can see how this stuff is working and fitting together. The point that I'm trying to get across here for all of this is that you need to look at this in terms of having a privately branded campus. And the 3 ways that you have to get started, again, my personal opinion is you want to work on phase 1, building your community and that library with all of your content. And all I'm saying is create the content as fast as you can, and it doesn't have to be perfect, and it should be on YouTube. Now, there's 2 reasons it's on YouTube. The one I've been talking about for ages has always been about the transcripts, because when you have the transcripts, AI can use the transcripts to answer any questions that it has or that your members have just by having a chatbot in your privately branded campus, but it's trained on your content. Here's the second one, and this is why it's really important. Since Gemini 3 came out last week, Gemini 3 is multimodal, so it knows exactly what is in the video visually. And also from the intonation, timbre, pitch, speed of the from the sound, it uses those in the responses that it gives. So the more video content that you have, the better your library is, not only for yourself in organizing everything, but for the people that are there. They're already searching. They have all of this information on YouTube. They're looking to get away from being the overwhelmed person. They're looking for someone that they can trust, that they're comfortable with, that they want to go learn with. They'll be involved in the community. And if you're on YouTube and you publish 1 video a week and you spend a whole time producing it and making it perfect, as opposed to doing 4 to 5 videos a week that are authentic and real, you have all of the content from the 5 videos, plus you have 4 more chances of standing out compared to someone else who's making a perfect video. Get out, get your content out, get sharing as fast as you can, and don't just leave it on YouTube. Bring it into your community and repurpose it using AI so that you have all those other pieces available for you. As an example, let me just wait for my screen to refresh here. All of these ones here, where you can take the YouTube video that you're creating, but you can add sorts of additional information for it. You can create frameworks for it. All of that stuff is now available here. And that's something that is not on YouTube. Okay, and you can automate this now, but get your content in, get it in. Hopefully this is making sense for you. I think, what do we got here? So there's no last questions. I'm going to bring this in for landing. For me personally, when you're thinking about this, just ask yourself, if I do things the way I've always been doing things, and I'm here and we're having this discussion on March 1st, or June 1st, or September 1st, or December 31st of next year, and you think that by creating a course today, that is going to be enough to have an education business, I wish you luck. I personally don't think it is there. What I'm suggesting is a couple things. One is that you start creating YouTube videos as fast as you can. Second, you start building your own training site, your own privately branded campus as a repository for all of your information, your education, your experience, and you start sharing it with the community of people who have said, there's too much going on, I can't keep up. I just want to work with a group of people who have a shared interest and are excited about what it is that they're doing. And if that's something that you want to do with me, got a couple choices. And here's the sales pitch that's going on here. So let me just make sure that's on off. There we go. Here's the pitch that I have. I have it free. The majority of the content is free, except on the left-hand side, we have special groups that are for the paid members only, where it's more one-on-one. We have live chat that's available during the day, plus all of the people who are paid members. And this gets back to this whole idea of teaching. I have live classes 4 times a week right now. So we do Monday evenings, we do Tuesday afternoons, we do this call on Wednesday, which is open to everyone, and then on Friday, we have other sessions. These are ones where they're live labs and workshops where we actually work on the projects that you're doing. They're not lectures. It's like, hey, what problems are you having? What are you working on? What's the best way to do it? These are live sessions for paid members only, plus the groups, and then plus I do have applications and skill packages that we're starting to put into the training. These are the ones for paid members. So if you want to be, part of that, what you can do is obviously poke around here, but I do have this Campus Builder VIP program. And right now till the end of the year, it's $97 a month or $9.97 a year. So just go hit that button. It's trainingsites.io/pass. That's where it is. And if you need some one-on-one help, or you just want to have an introductory call, if you go to the bottom, we've got an intro call. We have a personal mentoring program where you can work with me personally one-on-one, and then just some strategy sessions if you want in the bottom. So that's my pitch. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you had a good time. You got some value from this. I look forward to finding out about what it is that you do, and hopefully you'll join us at trainingsites.io so you can start building, grow an education business. Thanks for everyone coming on. We'll talk to you soon. And again, get on the community, ask questions, share. This is exciting times for anyone who has some experience and wants to be able to share it. So take care, expect the best. We'll be back probably later today with another video.